If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. This Friday, French Montana is dropping a new album called They Got Amnesia. And today, I wanted to go over everything we know about this, from the cover art to the track list, from what we know about this thing. So let's jump straight into it. So French Montana is obviously not very highly regarded within the hip-hop community. I thought that I wanted to make this video though because the track list for this new album does look pretty interesting in terms of the features, even though a lot of them are very basic. But I do have some stuff to say about one or two of these especially, and this is kind of a spoiler already, but y'all probably seen this. There's a Drake feature on here, and the last Drake collaboration with French Montana, No Stylist, was a pretty great track, so that is why I got my hopes up for this one. But let's actually start from the beginning, and I'll give y'all some context on the album, because the album cover is French Montana with all these like medical patches attached to him in this emergency room. And maybe y'all remember that a very similar picture was taken of him in real life just, I think it was 1.5-2 years ago, right after his 35th birthday, when he had to be taken to the hospital because he had like a breakdown. He said it was a combination of just stress and, you know, some sort of substance. I think we never actually got to know what the actual cause of it was, but he was in there and was in pretty critical condition, I believe. He talked about this thing in quite, you know, a lot of interviews after that, calling it a health scare for him, and that now he's not drinking alcohol anymore and stuff like that. I love that the man is changing his life for the better and always improving himself, but that was, you know, kind of tragic to see from the outside. But apparently he's now channeling that time of his life into this new album, and is using that picture of him that made the rounds on the internet as the album cover for this thing. I already touched on his reputation in hip-hop at the beginning of this video. French Montana is not someone who is regarded very highly within the hip-hop community. He's just had some questionable, you know, parts here and there. When he's featured on a track, he never really adds anything to it. He's made some very questionable comments in the past, especially about him having more hits than Kendrick Lamar, and him going back and forth with Young Thug. I think it was last year in 2020. There was just a whole lot of situations where he made a fool of himself, because let's be real, as an artist, as a musician, French Montana is really not that good. He makes some generic, you know, dancehall and trap songs, has had great success with that. I mean, Unforgettable was huge with Sway Lee, for example, but other than that, his music never really, you know, had any impact, and he doesn't really add anything to hip-hop in total, or to the culture. Of course, he's had some big collaborations, as I said, with Drake, for example, on No Stylist. They collaborated before that as well, twice, I believe. So, you know, he's in that realm of like hanging around a lot of very influential people. So let's look at this track list, because that's what I was leading into. The track list for this thing, They Got Amnesia, again features him in some kind of medical environment, and also the album title, They Got Amnesia. But then let's look at the tracks, because obviously that is what's so interesting. Now, again, the first track is called ICU. So again, directly referencing that incident where he had to be taken to the ICU after his 35th birthday. So apparently he's somehow again channeling this energy of him having that breakdown and him having that cut in his career, and you know, it's like pre that event and post that event in his life, and he wants to take this a step further with, you know, calling the first track ICU. Then we have How You King, followed by the first of the 3 singles that we already heard, which is Fuck With Me, Get a Bag, which did go pretty hard. I thought it was the best of the 3 singles he's released so far. Now, the second single that we know about so far is the 4th one, I Don't Really Care, and on that song he really didn't care. It was so lazy, it was so bad, it was really hard to listen to, so really not looking forward to that one. Next up is already the one that I was talking about, Splash Brothers featuring Drake. Now, I don't know what this title Splash Brothers has got to do with the song. It's kind of weird. but I love that we have a Drake feature on here. I think that this song is actually going to do pretty well if it's somehow decent and somehow just a generic French Montana and Drake song. So I do have my eyes open for that, because I think that one could have the potential of being the next No Stylist. Not being, a forward-pushing track that's going to change anything within the culture, but just a track that people would like to listen to. Next up, we have Touch the Sky with John Legend and Rick Ross, which is an amazing combination. I would love to see the two of them. But then again, when I think of a John Legend and Rick Ross song, I think it's going to be something great. But then I just remember that it's a French Montana album, so I don't know what that's going to be like. Next up, Mopstick with Kodak Black. I don't know what that's going to be like. Then Stuck in the Jungle, Pop Smoke and Lil Durk. I see Durkio on here with the pop feature, so that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. Next up, we have the third single, Panicking with Fabio Foreign. That one was better than I Don't Really Care. Not as good as Fuck With Me, Get It Back, though, but it's just a generic Fabio Foreign song that you would imagine. And if you think of if you imagine like a French Montana Fabio Foreign track on like a drill beat, that is exactly that. Next up, Handstand with Doja Cat and Saweetie. Apparently, he's bringing in some female power on here. I do love to see that, though. The Paper, The Night Only. Then a Fabulous feature, Didn't Get Far, which I'm looking forward to. Then Business. Then a Coyle Ray feature on Push Start. Not sure if this is just, picking up on her hype wave. Then Striptease, Ty Dolla $ign and Lotto. I can already imagine what that song is going to sound like. Then Back Season with Lil TJ. Then a skit for the second to last track, kind of weird. But then we have Appreciate Everything and Losing Weight, and then a FWMGAB remix with Moneybagg Yo. So that's the track list, and we don't really know a lot about this album other than the title, the kind of backstory to it, the whole context I just gave you, the track list, the cover art, and the 3 singles we have so far. So what we can judge about this album so far is pretty limited, but judging from the singles, it's just going to be another generic French Montana album with some highlights, though, like that Drake feature that I hope will somehow stand out. And also that John Legend and Rick Ross song is a track that I'm looking forward to quite a lot. So this album, I'll listen to it. I'm really not expecting anything great, but I am looking forward to a couple of features on here, though. So that's my take on this. That's everything we know about this thing so far. Go listen to the singles that we got so far. If you haven't yet, go check out the track list. Make sure to tune in when it drops on Friday. Let's see if, French Montana can somehow revive his career or get some respect back in hip-hop. I doubt it. But now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for this thing? Have you been looking forward to this? Are there any French Montana fans out there? Or is he just another, rapper that we just listen to because he's always been there? I don't think there are any real French Montana fans. If you're out there, let me know. I just doubt it. Yeah, so that's my take on this. So let me know yours in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.